clothes and breeze blocks. Shivers your fevers greet me again. Never kisses, or do you ever send a full stop? Do you know where the waffles go? They go along to take your honey. Way down how we build our breakfast down and say my love, love, love. Muscle to muscle, to toe to toe. The bear is gripping me, but here I go. My heart sings as I jump up. Girl, I can tell that my heart is shining up. Do you know where the wild things go? They go on undertake your honey. Bring down our sleep, build our breakfast, now let's see my love, my love.
Good morning. Thanks for coming to the Liberty North Eagles football press conference. We had a playoff victory against Staley on Halloween night, and we're looking forward to playing the district championship game against Park Hill. Take any of your questions.
What's the biggest challenge for you about playing Park Hill?
Stopping their running game is going to be huge for us, and not forgetting that if you forget about those wide receivers, they'll throw it over your head and catch it as well. So we'll have to continue to play sound defense, and we're going to have to be more physical than we've ever been in order to stop their running game. Their offensive line is exceptional.
What did you guys do different against Staley this time to pull off the win?
We forced turnovers. That's probably the big difference in the game. First time around, we turned it over 3 times. They didn't turn it over. And we had some special teams mistakes as well. This time around, we forced turnovers, and they had a couple special teams mistakes. So, when you've got a playoff situation and the teams are evenly matched, it really comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes. And, although we made too many mistakes to be comfortable, they made a couple more than we did, and so that was the difference in the game.
How did you feel about how well your defense played against Staley?
Well, we expect that out of our defense. I mean, we've got our defensive coaches do a great job of preparing the kids so that they know what's coming, and our kids are exceptional athletes. We have 5 first-team all-conference players on our defense, 2 second-teamers, and we also have the conference defensive player of the year. So we're pretty stacked defensively, and we anticipate that we're going to shut people down as much as they can be shut down, and we're happy with the way they performed for sure.
What do you think are the key things on offense that you guys have to do to beat Park Hill this year?
Offensively, we have to kind of the same type of game plan that we had with Staley, where we need to protect the football. We need to be sure that we can run the ball effectively enough to switch field position and punt the ball well when we have to punt it, and then get our defense out there to help us to continue to win the field position battle. And then when we get an opportunity, we need to score.
Temperatures dropped well into the 30s on Friday night. Did that factor into the game at all?
Nope, I layered. I wore many layers. I was really comfortable.
Do you feel any more confident about this year than you have in previous years about the team?
As the head coach, you're always waiting for the next disaster to occur. So confident. I do believe that we can beat anybody, but I also believe that we could go out there and do poorly and lose to a lot of teams that we ought to beat. So confidence is something that I believe in our kids, but I also fear for the worst, and I think that fearing for the worst maybe motivates us to coach them a little harder.
You mentioned you have to hope for disaster, or be ready for disasters to happen.
Mitchell's been doing a great job. You know, we've changed our play selection. We're continuing to, you know, we're still running the same offensive scheme that we've always run, but we are, you know, the play selection is what has changed. We're giving Mitchell, trying to put Mitchell in situations where he can use what he's good at doing, and he's done a good job overall of protecting the football and taking what the defense gives him and executing what we've asked to be executed. So, you know, he has been a big part of us keeping things together without Brian, and you know, he's a good athlete. He's doing a good job.
Richard seemed to recently look a little faster than he was for a while after his injury. How's he recovering from that?
I think Richard's okay. I think that you know, speaking of confidence, you know, I think that you know, it's important for Richard in each of his weekly performances to gain a little confidence as the night goes on. And so, you know, a defense like Staley or you know, we've probably played against the 3 of the 4 best defenses in the city this year already, with Staley and Fort Osage and Kearney. And, you know, when you're playing those teams, it's hard to build a lot of confidence in the running game because you're not just going to bust off the big ones. But I think Richard feels fine physically. I think that at times confidence is an issue, and so, you know, hopefully we can pop off a couple of big ones early in the game and he can get rolling.
Is there anything that you're going to really focus on in practice this week?
You know, it's week 12 of the season. We've been practicing since May, June. It's been a long season. There's pretty much nothing new. You know, we'll continue to work on our fundamentals. We'll continue to just try to apply what we do to what Park Hill does. And you know, it's a little bit late in the game to try to reinvent the wheel, and you know, that's kind of in the movies. What's that? Waterboy. They got the green playbook, the notebook. You know, now we just got to go with what we know right now.
Coach, you guys did do a good job of forcing turnovers against State, but you also had some of your own against Park Hill this week. You can get away with those. You have to definitely make it.
Well, I think there's never a week where you feel like you can get away with turnovers. You know, we were fortunate in that, you know, Staley was turning the ball over as well, and our defense was not allowing them to cross the line of scrimmage for a good portion of the game. So, yeah, I mean, 4 fumbles, you would expect to lose a football game, no question about it. So, yeah, we definitely need to take care of the ball. And the fumbling thing is traditionally not a Liberty North problem, and it has reared its ugly head a few times this year, which is really disappointing as the head football coach, but we'll need to fix it.
Is it any different knowing you play an undefeated team in Park Hill South this week, or does the team have the same amount of confidence they had against State?
You know, I don't know if our kids are smart enough to know if the team they're playing next is really good or really bad. Because I pretty much see the same kids show up every week for us, you know, and the one thing that I would like to see is I would like to see those nights where we raise our level of play to meet the situation and we come out with a new fire and intensity. But really, we're pretty much the same football team every night, and so I hope that they're looking at the record of Park Hill, and I hope that they're looking at the offensive line that Park Hill has, and the defense and how fast they run around, and I hope that they're looking at that, and it's giving them some extra incentive to work hard and play hard. But you know, our kids are kind of strange. I've not seen a big difference in emotion or intensity on any given game night this year, regardless of who the opponent is, which is good and bad. But I'd like to see a spike in the adrenaline level this week. Maybe a little testosterone in their breakfast.
Coach, talk about their offensive line for Park Hill. Do you have to do anything different to generate pressure against them? Maybe those blitzes out?
Well, we're going to have to get off of blocks. We're going to have to beat them physically, and that's going to be a tough task. I'm not. I know we haven't seen an offensive line like they have, and I'm pretty sure they haven't seen a defensive line like we have. So, if we can, if we can get after them physically, we're not going to. Once again, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We haven't had a blitz the entire season. So I would hate to put a kid in a brand new situation on a big stage like this. So we'll just line up and try to out physical.
I know a large portion of the football team on the field and on the sidelines are seniors. Do you think the sophomores and the juniors are going to come back just like they did next year with that same?
Well, it's when you've got a good football program, which we're lucky to have, every year about this time of year, people look at your lineup and they say, man, you're losing a lot of seniors. What's going to happen next year? Well, graduation happens everywhere. And, this year we had to replace the entire offensive line, including the tight end. We had to replace our all-conference fullback. We had to replace an all-state linebacker, the whole defensive line, apart from one player. We've got a lot of good football players in the program, and kids step up in their senior year and the next year, and so we think we'll be fine going forward. We're glad that we're senior heavy right now, because that means that we've got that experience factor over a lot of our opponents. But we're confident that our program is rich enough to continue this kind of success.
Speaking of underclassmen, Deterrion Richardson seems to just keep getting bigger. How is he helping out your team with his size?
Well, Deterrion brings a kind of a leadership factor to us as well. He's got a little personality, and he's willing to hold teammates accountable, and he brings a good energy to practice. Him and MJ Savea together were really great in terms of setting a mood and a tone at practices. Deterrion is physically gifted. Obviously, he's a great, big, strong kid, and it's nice to have kind of an immovable object in there. He's going to make a big difference in this football game, because Park Hill's offensive line likes to double team those interior techniques and drive them off the football, and hopefully Deterrion's up for the challenge.
Student section help your guys' morale heading into the game on Friday?
It always makes a difference. It especially in our sport, it makes a huge difference. Even Halloween night, we're out there, and I didn't expect a super big crowd, but we had a lot of kids. We had more kids than Staley had over there. It looks like we had more parents on our side than Staley had over there, and I was, it inspires the kids, and football is a sport of intensity, and if you're not fired up, then every little bump hurts, and you don't want to hit anybody and things like that. And it's huge for our kids when there's a buzz going in a stadium, because that changes the way that they play football. So yeah, it was great out there at Staley, outnumbering them on their home field, and hopefully we can do that at Park Hill too. Like, big deal, or? I'm good. Oh, wrap it up. Okay. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll celebrate a win next week. Thanks.